Have you ever had the experience of walking into a room and it's very clear from the moment that you walk in that people are really glad to see you? Maybe it's when you had young kids or your kids are young right now, and whenever you walk in the door, they say, "Daddy" or "Mommy," and they run up to give you a hug. Or maybe you go to your favorite hangout, whether it's a sports bar, maybe a club you belong to, or a church that you go to, and you walk in the door and people turn their heads and go, "Mike, how's it going, Mike?" And big smile. Or it could be just as simple as you're standing in line at a store or a restaurant, and when you get up to the register, the person running the register gives you a big smile and says, "Hey, good to see you. How's your day going? What can I get for you?" Right? And it's very clear in those experiences that people are happy to see you. Now, what you're experiencing in those moments, we call warmth. And it turns out warmth is a very critical skill to master if you want to build great relationships. Hi, everybody. This is Greg from Heart Tools, where we make it simple to build great relationships. And with this video, we are jumping into a brand new set of skills that are really critical to learn if you want to be able to create great relationships. Stage one of relationship is loving well, and it has three different sets of skills to master. The first is creating emotional awareness and connection. The last one is going to be creating and protecting equal power in the relationship. And with this video, we launch into a set of skills on creating and protecting equal value in the relationship. Both people in the relationship have to be equally valued at all times. And your primary skill in order to communicate and protect other people's value is the skill of communicating warmth. When you walk into a room and you experience warmth, the reason it feels so good is because that warmth communicates value. It communicates that you matter. And it communicates specifically that you matter to that person who's expressing warmth to you. You're a big deal to them. Now, what happens when you walk into a room and you get the opposite reaction? What happens when you walk into your home or walk into work or walk into your hangout and there are people there, they barely notice your existence, right? They may look your way and nod, but there's no smiles, there's no greetings, right? Or what happens when you're at a register at a store and the person, instead of giving you a warm greeting, just looks at you and says, "Yeah," right? What does that communicate? It communicates that you don't matter. It communicates that you don't have value. And what are the kinds of things that run through your mind when you get a cold greeting instead of a warm greeting? Sometimes someone gives you a cold greeting and you wonder, did I do something wrong? Are they upset with me, or are they just having a really bad day? You're at a cash register and someone gives you a real cold greeting and you think, "Man, am I bothering you? Is it inconvenient to you? Is this really stressful for you that I'm here?" Right? Because a cold greeting communicates that you really don't have very much value, at least in the moment. And here is the main truth that I want you to grab hold of as we launch into this section about value. And it's this: in safe, healthy, thriving relationships, value is a non-negotiable. You don't negotiate value. Value isn't up one day and then it's down the next day. It's not you're valuable one week and the next week it's you don't matter at all. Value has to be a non-negotiable in relationships where you are loving well. If you're in a relationship where some days you're treated with value and other days you're not, that's a really exhausting relationship. But if you're in a relationship where the value is always there, that's a great relationship to be in. And so, if you want to love well and build thriving relationships as it comes to value, you have three main jobs. The first thing you have to do is consistently treat other people with value and protect their value. Your second job is to notice who treats you with value and invest in those relationships, because that's where the life is, right? And then your third job is you need to notice and pay attention to who does not treat you with value consistently And then you either need to minimize those relationships so they don't become life-stealing and all work and no payback, or if it's a significant relationship already, like a marriage or a business partnership, you need to be able to address the fact that the value is inconsistent. And your primary tool for communicating value and for noticing who treats you with value is warmth. Now, on a practical level, as you think about warmth and as you think back to the moments where you experienced warmth and it felt valuing, what you'll realize is that warmth is almost completely communicated by nonverbals. It's really not communicated so much through the words that someone chooses to say as the nonverbal expressions that accompany those words. So it's communicated through facial expressions. Does the person smile? Do their eyes seem to light up? Do they make eye contact when they're greeting you? What is the tone of voice like, right? You can tell sometimes even on a telephone call if someone is excited to be talking to you or you're bothering them or they're disinterested simply from the tone of voice. And then sometimes body language can also be a clue. When that little kid, is running up to you, open arms, that body language communicates warmth. So sometimes it's even that. It's nonverbals much more than verbals. In fact, sometimes someone can say something that might sound off-putting, but because of their nonverbals, they're happy to see you. You could walk in and someone could look at you and smile and say, well, here comes trouble, right? And what they mean is, I'm so glad to see you, because it's not communicated through words, it's communicated through the nonverbal expression. Now, in future videos, we're going to be talking about obstacles to consistently expressing warmth to the people in your life. And maybe you've already thought of what a few of those might be. But here's what I want you to practice right now, and it's going to set you up for success in the other things that we're going to be practicing here in learning how to communicate warmth to protect value. All I want you to do for the next few days or week or however long you want to do this, however long you want to practice this session, I want you to practice noticing nonverbals. I want you to practice noticing who communicates warmth to you when you walk into a room. And as you do that, pay attention to what the nonverbals are that let you know they're communicating warmth, and pay attention to how that makes you feel about yourself and about the relationship. Then I also want you to notice who does not communicate warmth to you, and I want you to notice what their nonverbals are and how that makes you feel about yourself, about that person, and about your relationship with them. Notice the thoughts and the feelings that run through your mind when you get those warm nonverbals and when you get those cold nonverbals. Practicing that will help set you up for success in the later things that we're going to learn. Simple steps, practice, practice, practice. That's what Heart Tools is all about.